Hello crafters. Today I wanted to make a few projects with you all using our Dress to Impress Stampin' Up set. We're going to make a basic monochromatic card, one that's a little bit more stepped up as we use our die cutting machine and some pretty thread. And then we're going to create a project that's just using the die cut set that coordinates with this set. I hope you guys enjoy doing this. I do want to give some credit to a couple other Stampin' Up demonstrators, Lynn Dunn and Lisa Zwolinek. I saw their samples of cards that are very close to this, and I designed and created them a little bit different to fit my style. But again, I did what we call cased. And I can't remember exactly what they all mean when we say cased, but I did case. I copied all, sharing everything. Design is what I did. All right, so let's get going on this. This one is our monochromatic card. I also want to just do a little bit of business super fast. Stampin' Up is what I'm showing you today. Again, you can craft and use different sets, but Stampin' Up is coming out with their new catalog this week. This set that I'm showing you today is available in this catalog as well as the current catalog. So if you like this set, that is where you can get those. You can order it right here from my email address. You can use this hostess code if you'd like to. If you're putting in a large order of $150, feel free to not use the code and put in your own order. All right, I think that's all the business I want to do with you all. I want to get to stamping. I do want to tell you, I like to make myself a little cheat sheet. This helps me remember what steps I'm going to do, the size of my pieces of paper, and different things that I need. It helps me and my projects go quicker. And if any of you order anything from me today, I'll send you this JPEG that gives you all this instructions. So the other thing I did do, I'm going to set this aside, is I chose to use our subtle basic colors in our Stampin' Up line. That is these colors right here, our Subtles collection. I knew then my colors were going to coordinate really well and I wouldn't have to think real hard about it. Stampin' Up already did that for me. Ignore this spiral bound. If you do get a Stampin' Up catalog, they don't come bound. I just like to bind my own. So that's what I did there. All right, let's get to stamping. We're going to use our mint macaron color. And I've already cut my sheet of paper at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to use my Stampin' Up paper trimmer. I really enjoy this thing. It comes with a cutting blade as well as a scoring blade. So I'm going to score it right now at 5 1/2. My scoring is the light gray. The darker gray is the cutting blade. So I'm going to I scored it, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to put it to the side because we're not going to stamp on this. We're just going to attach our stamped images to this. So now I have my paper. I'm going to open up my mint macaron stamp pad, and I'm going to ink up my background. Now, to create my background, what I did is I used the flowers. I don't know if I showed you this set, you guys. I just talked about it. So this set, you'll see that there's two groupings of flowers right here. And I put those two groupings of flowers together on one block. So saved me a little bit of steps by creating this background by just putting my images close together. And then I'm going to stamp it all around on this piece of paper. I like to try one time on my grid paper just to make sure it looks nice. I start in the center of my white and I work my way out. And what I like to do is rotate my block of images so it doesn't look exactly lined up. It has a little bit of a different random appearance. I just make it as busy and thick as I like to. I do like to go off the edge like that so my paper looks a little bit more complete. Okay, I think I'm going to do just a little bit more right there. Okay, now I'm going to clean off my stamps. I have a chamois over here, and I like to clean them off and put them away so I don't lose them. When I create, I am very messy. If you could see around me right now, you would see how messy my workspace is. To me, that's fun of creating, is kind of making a mess. All right, so now I have another piece of paper. This one is 2 inches wide by 3 1/4 inches long. And we're going to put our saying and our shoes on here. All right, so I'm going to stamp a shoe. Just gonna stamp a shoe. And I think I wanna center it. Well, actually, I'm gonna put it a little bit high because we're gonna attach a ribbon. So I stamped a shoe, and then what I did, gals, crafters, there's guys out there that craft, excuse me. I stamped my shoe on a piece of Post-it note. Then I cut it out. Move this away. And now I'm gonna cover this shoe that I stamped on my project with my Post-it note. And that is called a mask, okay? So I just masked my shoe. I'm gonna stamp it again. And now when I remove my mask, my shoes, looks like one shoe is behind the other shoe. Now I'm going to stamp my image. Life is short, buy the shoes. Is that not so fun? I think about my youngest daughter when I think about this saying. She loves to buy shoes. So yeah, I can't help but think of her when I use this. And I'm gonna take that saying off, put it back here. You'll notice that I'm using these acrylic blocks. Again, Stampin' Up sells those. You can find them there. They're a great product. All right, so I have now done our stamping. Now we're gonna start putting our images together, putting our pieces together. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna tear our pieces. So to tear, you wanna tear towards yourself. I am left-handed, very left-handed. So I'm going to hold my paper with my left hand and then tear towards me. And I didn't really leave us a lot of room to tear, but I left us some. And then this piece, I'm gonna tear again, holding with my left hand and then tearing towards me. I am tearing this piece more at an angle. Gonna see how that looks. Okay, like that is gonna be our design. But now I'm going to take a piece of our tulle ribbon. You can use whatever ribbon you have. I really do like this ribbon. This is going to be in our new catalog as well. So I like to use a little piece of ribbon and I just attach it on the back like this, like that. And then I take my other piece of ribbon and I just tie a knot. And this first ribbon piece was 5 inches. This one is 3 inches. Just tie this knot. Oh, there we go. Just like that. Right now we're going to put our card together. This adhesive, you can get at a craft store. Again, Stampin' Up is going to be selling their own adhesive in the new catalog. So I'm going to line this up, not with the base of the card, but with the stamped sheet. Okay. Now with this one, I want to use dimensionals. I want to pop this piece up a little bit, so I'm going to use some of the dimensionals that we sell. Put 4 of those on here. Actually, I'm going to do 5. Put one right in the middle. And then the other tool I use all the time is this Pick Your Tool. Take Your Pick, excuse me. It's called Take Your Pick. I use it just to peel off the paper. I'm going to use it here in a second to put our rhinestones on. This tool, I really use this a lot. I would say this Take Your Pick and my paper trimmer are the tools. Oh boy, I just get them out as soon as I start my projects because they're just so helpful for me. So I'm gonna attach it here. And now we've got to bling it. So I'm gonna add some rhinestones, and then gals, crafters, we are done with our first project. So I'm gonna just take one. Let's see. I'm gonna look at my sample. Where did I put it? Oh, I put it right here. Rhinestone. This is a little smaller one just for fun. And these rhinestones have adhesive on the back already. So you don't have to try to put some on there yourself. I want a little bigger one. There we go. Project number 1 done. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm gonna pause my camera and we will get ready to make project number 2, which is this card. Here we go with this one. This one we're going to use our die cutting machine. It's really fun, simple tool. Stampin' Up! Is going to be selling a die cut machine. It's not going to be available this week, but it will be soon. Again, die cutting machines you can find as well at your craft stores that you may shop at, as well as Amazon. So let's get going on this one. I cut this card at 5.5 by 8.5. Let me score it with our cutting tool and our scoring tool. So this time I'm gonna line it up at the 4 1/4, and I'm gonna use my scoring blade and score it at 4 1/4. And here is our base again. And we're gonna leave this and set it aside and not stamp with it. We're gonna just attach our images with that. I use then our DS paper. That's called our Designer Series paper. But if you have a really pretty soft peachy pink color paper, this project will work well. This Designer Series paper does coordinate with our Dress to Impress. Here's the other side of this. Super cute, all this fun makeup things. There you'll see in this set there's a lipstick, and so it matches that. This paper is going to be discontinued. It is available to purchase still just through the 2nd. After the 2nd, it is no longer available, and depending on whether it's still in style or still in stock or not, it may already be gone for purchase, but it should be still available as I checked it last night. So we're going to take this piece and move it to the side. We're going to now just stamp on this piece. It's 3 3/4 by 4. And we're going to start with this little blotchy little image. We're going to use our Highland Heather. Again, we're going to use all of the colors that come in that subtle line, so they all coordinate well together. You just heard my dog, I believe, come down the stairs. So I'm going to stamp it once. Make sure, oh yeah, good color. And I stamped it center, but more on the lower end. So I went 1, 2, 3. So kind of made a image there in the center of this Highland Heather color. Now what you'll see with this stamp set or the stamp pad, I slide it open and then I close it like a compact. Stampin' Up! Does this, so again, the ink pad itself is upside down if you think about it now, so all of the ink stays at the top of our stamp pad, doesn't sink down to the bottom. And then you can use this side if you want to for watercolor inking and different things. That could be another technique that we practice on another day. All right, I'm going to stick my Highland Heather out of the way. Again, I do like to try to stay a little bit organized as I stamp because I'm a very messy stamper. We're going to use our Memento black stamp pad. Stamp pad. There we go. And I'm going to stamp this cute little fun perfume bottle. Whoops, I can already tell I wouldn't have a good image. There we go. Now I'm going to stamp my perfume bottle pretty much in the center, like that. And sorry about that, I almost closed that up. Now I need my flowers And I put, where is my other flower? Oh, it's right here. Ooh, that's so funny. All right, so I'm gonna put our grouping of flowers right here. And I'm going to stamp one grouping right here. Oh, let me practice. One goes right here. And then I'm going to do another grouping around this corner of the bottle. And another one this corner of the bottle. And then this space right here is going to be where I'm going to put this one that we're going to die cut and place it right here. I think I want to do maybe another one though, another grouping right there, really kind of make it look good and full with flowers. Okay, we'll see if I like that. Right, so now I want to add some color to my flowers. So I'm going to use our Calypso Coral. And I'm going to use these blotches that come in this set. I call them blotches because they're blotches. And you'll see that I have two on one block. I find that sometimes it helps me not lose track of my stamps, and sometimes I don't have the right size of block for all of my stamps. I just find it convenient to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this larger block, and I'm going to blob it, stamp it on my scrap paper, and then ink on my flower. And I want to do that. I'm going to leave this one, see how that one's pretty, a lot of purple. That's kind of why I also stamped, oh boy, I think I'm going to add still a little bit of, I don't want to use that larger one on there. Okay, so now I'm going to use my smaller one, and I'm going to fill in my little flowers. You'll see that this is more abstract. It's not an exact color. Now what I do want to do is I want to come in and I'm going to just stamp it directly onto my flower, my largest flower, without blotting off, and it kind of gives it a two-tone. I don't know how well you could see that, but I left the smaller ones with just one stamped image on it, but the larger ones I did it twice. So let me show you with this guy that I've already cut out. I'm going to show you how we cut that out, but I did already cut one out for video purposes. So again, I blocked it off once. Now I'm going to just turn my little block over, and I'm going to use full strength of the little guy on there. And it just gives a two-tone look. So I'm going to stick those over there, clean them. Now I do want to add a little bit of green to this. We've got these pretty leaves, and I want to add some color. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to use our mint macaron. Again, I've used that same Settles line, so I know my colors go well. This is just a fun little branch that comes in this set. So you'll see this stamp doesn't match the leaves perfectly with this stamped image, but it colors in the green, and I think it looks really nice. So I'm literally just going to do that. Put a little bit of green in there on the leaves. Now I'm going to use our Balmy Blue. And the set also comes with these dots. So I'm going to blot off my dots, and then I'm just going to add some subtle dots throughout my card just to add a little bit of texture. Okay? Clean it off. Now let me go ahead and show you how I did this flower with our die cutting machine, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to tear again. So I'm going to take, my hands are a little dirty. I'm nervous I'm going to get my card a little little bit dirty, so I'm going to pick up my chamois and just wipe off my hands. I also have been known to use my jeans to wipe my hands off, which I'm going to do right now just to dry them. All right, so now I'm going to use my left hand because I am left-handed. I'm going to hold the paper with my left hand and tear with my right hand, tearing towards me at an angle, like that. So now I have this piece left over. This is what I used to stamp my flower. So let me just, I'm gonna do that with you. Whoops, look at that. I love that we have two sides to a paper. Okay, there's my scrap. And again, this set comes with a coordinating die set, and this is the die that coordinates with this image. So what you're gonna see is I'm gonna line this metal die up with my stamped image, and then again, I'm gonna get out my Post-it notes. I love my Post-it notes. And my Post-it note is gonna hold this in place so I know it's not gonna move when I put it on the machine, which oftentimes I find that they do because your plates start to warp, and so you don't always have just an even image. I'm gonna turn this way, see if I can line it up a little bit better. There we go, that helps. Okay, so I'm gonna line it up. I'm gonna stick that piece of Post-it note right on top of it. And I'm gonna pull my machine over here. This is called a Big Shot, is the brand, is a Big Shot. And you need a plate. And then the words you hear is sandwich. So here is a plate that's been used many times. That's why it looks like this. I'm gonna take my piece of paper and my image. I'm gonna put another plate over it, and I'm gonna crank the handle. And that is gonna cut out our flower. You hear it pop, that's normal. You're not hurting anything. I do like to go one way and then the other way just to make sure I get a good nice cut. That's just what I like to do. So now I have a cut flower. All right. Now because I already stamped one and it's already colored, we'll put this one to the side. A lot of times if I have extra pieces, I put them back in my case with my stamps so I can use it for another project. All right, so now what I did is I added some thread to it, some metallic thread. This thread, I will say, is also being discontinued. There is a rose-colored thread that you can purchase, again, from Stampin' Up! While supplies last. If you go to my site right here, you can go to the Stampin' Up! Page and you can order this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of glue right over this flower that's not colored, because that's where we're going to put our die cut flower. I think, there we go. And then I took just this thread, and you just kind of loop it. There's no real perfect way to do it. You just loop it, and you add as much as you want to add. It's just a really soft, pretty detail, I think. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more. I don't know how much this is, how many feet this is of thread. I'm not sure. Oops. All right, I think that's good. We'll cut that. And I am going to use a dimensional again, and I'm going to attach it to the back of my larger flower image. See, this is where I use my take your pick tool. Let's get that off there a little better. And I'm gonna place it there. Whoops. Now let's attach, put our our pieces all together. Put my designer series paper and my stamped image piece. And then one more thing, we've got to add some sequins just for some more fun bling on this card, wherever it looks nice to you. So these sequins will not be in the new catalog. Whoops, okay. But they are, we do still have sequins available, but they may not be this exact color. What I like to do is I like to get our mini glue dots that we sell that are in there. You can, again, find glue at your craft store that you like. These are just little blobs of glue. So what I like to do is I like to put my blob of glue where I'm going to put my sequin, because these sequins don't have glue on the back. Now, there's sequins that you can purchase that do have glue, and then there's also sequins that aren't, that are loose, that you can purchase. So there's both kinds. Now this other side of take your pick, you can see it's kind of got a bunch of blobbies on there. It's actually the sticky product. See how it grabs your sequin or whatever that you're trying to grab that's little. So then you're not trying to pick up that image, it does it for you. And what happens is when I'm using my other end, this piece kind of slowly gets loose, and so extra glue blobby stuff comes off. But you just want to keep that cap on there. That keeps it moist so it won't dry out on you. All right, so there is card number 2. I think it's really pretty. I really like it. I think it'll definitely make someone happy. All right, I'm gonna turn off the camera. We'll get going again in a second, and we're gonna use our die cut knitting machine to make this super cute purse that you can fold the corners in this way, or if you want, you can fold them out that way so it's more of a bag than a purse, and you can also make it a backpack, but we're gonna just make it this really cute purse. Here we are on project 3 for us crafters today. This is using the die cut kit that comes and coordinates with the Dress to Impress stamp set. This little gift bag, this little purse was so much fun and super easy to make. So again, it coordinates with our Dress to Impress. It's a die set that comes that you can purchase to coordinate with this. And we are gonna make this little cute purse together. What I do like to do is I have these magnet sheets right here that I actually buy at the hardware store, and I cut them to fit any stamp set that I have that has a die cut kit that matches or coordinates with the stamps, and then I just keep them in the same case. To me, it's just easier that way. That's how I like to organize them. So I'm going to show you how to cut all of these out to stamp and assemble this adorable little purse. Again, you can fold it out this way, or you can leave it in this way. Fill it with some candies for your friend. Leave it on her desk or at her house, whatever. Put gift cards in there, maybe some lotion, lipstick, mascara. Put a little, again, Dress to Impress kit together with this little bag. It's so cute. All right, let's get this die cutting machine out and let's make this fun purse. All right, so the pieces that I need from this, you're gonna see, we used this flower earlier. You can see there's buttons and a shoe, and we are gonna use these fun buckles, the purse strap, the purse itself, and the pocket. Those are the pieces of die, oh, excuse me, and the label. Those are all the pieces we're going to use with our die cutting machine. So I'm going to show you how I put it together, and then I have most of them already cut out. You don't have to watch me cut them all out. But here again is our machine. I'm trying to think of how I'm going to use this here. Stampin' Up! Does not have this one in their catalog, but you can purchase this one at your craft stores. Stampin' Up! Is going to have one available soon, but not yet. So the thing you want to remember when you use a die cutting machine, let me move it a little bit here, is you always want to sandwich. So this is a magnetic platform. This kind of helps hold the dies in place because they're metal, so this kind of holds them in place. You use a piece of plastic to cut and then a piece that's going to go over it. These are all, again, items you can purchase at a craft store or through Stampin' Up! Okay, so I took a piece of our Highland Heather and I cut it in half. So we have 2 sheets of 8.5 by 5.5. That's so again it fits through the machine. And we need to cut out 2 of our purse pieces. So I took our purse piece and I put it on here. Again, I'm going to use my Post-it notes. Those are my tricky little tools I use all the time, and I tear them in half so they stay in place. Now this one you're going to see stays pretty well, but sometimes they move, so I still like to stick a little Post-it note. Here's one of my handles. And then we're going to take our pocket and we're going to cut it out as well. And I can tell this piece is, don't need those Post-it notes as much as I do sometimes. All right, now I'm going to run it through. And again, I like to always go 2 times. Just I go forward, I go through one way, and then I go the other way. When you hear it pop, you're not breaking anything. It's just the pressure of the machine. Boop. All right. So we're going to need to cut out one more handle and one more purse piece. And we're going to need to cut out our buckles and our saying piece. And that is going to be on a piece of our smoky slate. Now I'm not going to show you how I cut those out. You guys have pretty much watched me just cut out the Highland Heather pieces. It's the exact same thing. You're just going to run it through the die cutting machine. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. It's the same process, but that's the next thing you'll do. So now we're going to do a little bit of stamping, and then we're going to assemble our fun, adorable purse. So what I did, again, we did monochromatic stamping. That's the same color. So I used Highland Heather ink on our Highland Heather paper to add these adorable flowers to our bag and to add fabulous there. So I took our flowers again and I put them on our block. I put the 2 together. Then I did the largest one and I smushed them on the block pretty tight. And I'm going to practice. Oh, you know what? I don't know that I like how those look, so I'm going to rearrange it a little bit. I'm going to tuck that one in there a little bit. All right, now let me see if I like it. Yeah, that looks better. So again, I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out. I'm going to move my paper around, move my images around. I better get a better inked image. I kind of got some lighter spots there. I do like monochromatic and stamping this way. It's quick and it doesn't have to be really exact, which none of our stamping does. Part of creating an image at home is it's not perfect. You get to handcraft it yourself. So now what we're gonna do, when we die cut this, it has these score lines, and now we're going to fold them. If you're wondering, I already did half of it. Look at that, I got ahead. So I've already stamped the other side. So we have 2 of these, we have 2 handles, we have a pocket, we should have 4 buckles. I'm only seeing, oh, there's the 4th. 4 buckles, and then we're also gonna have our saying tag. You're gonna see that this is too long right now. I'll show you a trick that I'm gonna use to make this shorter. Right, so now let's put our bag together. So you're going to, on the score lines, you definitely want to go ahead and score them, fold them, so it's easier to put together when you're gluing it. And it's, again, the machine already did all your scoring for you. You just have to kind of fold it. Okay. Now we're going to glue this piece and this piece together in the bottom. So we're going to use our multi-purpose glue, or we also have tear and tape, whichever one you like to use. Now what I like to do with my multi-purpose glue is I like to put it in a jar like this so the tip is always facing down. I also have this goofy piece of sponge and a clip, and there are times that I will put my glue on my silicone mat. These, by the way, my liquid adhesive is a little bit older, and so it's a little harder to stick out. So I can put my glue on my silicone mat like this, and then dab it like this and add it to projects that I need to. But today we're going to just run a strip of glue. And this is older, so it's a little bit clumpy. I really like this glue a lot. The other thing I like to do is I like to move this over here on my silicone mat, so if it smushes out a little bit, I just don't get my paper sticky. I made sure my top lined up, my bottom lined up, and what I do like about this glue is you can see I can move it around still a little bit before it dries, but it also dries pretty quick. So I'm just pressing it down with my hand. Move this out of the way. And I'm going to now add some glue to the other strip. And you'll see really it doesn't take very long. It dries quick enough that I really don't have to wait too long to go ahead and use it. And I will tell you, you guys, my hands are sticky from that glue. All right, so now I'm gonna fold this over because I already scored it. Makes it way easier to manipulate and move. So I'm gonna line this corner up with this corner up. I'm gonna hold it just for a minute. It really doesn't take long for it to dry. Again, you can also use the tear and tape if you want that we sell. And what it is just a strip of tape that you can put on there, and then you literally tear it off. So it's really handy to use as well. This adhesive is, I would say, probably a little stickier, so it may make your bag a little bit sturdier, but both of them are gonna work. So now I'm going to glue the bottom. I'm gonna see if it matters. Not really. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. Again, I like to just have a little mason jar to keep my glue in, to keep it facing down. It definitely comes out easier that way. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to put this glue on it like this to, whoops, actually just put it in there like that. That'll hold it. And now what I'm going to do is just with my hand, I'm going to wrap this strap so it has a rounded shape like that to it. And then we're going to put these cute little buckles on here. You just wrap it through like that. Is that not adorable? Again, you can purchase this die cut set, this die set, in the catalog that's current now, as well as in the catalog up and coming. Glue. I got glue in my hands. Put some glue here. Woo! Now this one is not as old. This one came out a lot easier. So what I am going to do is take some of that glue off. That's so much. I don't need that much. I use my little sponge to spread it out there. And I will stick it there. Sorry for being so on the edge there. I wasn't paying attention. I was having fun crafting and not looking at and seeing what you all were seeing there. So I'm just holding it and I'm just eyeballing it, making sure that I have them down at about the same place on my purse, so they look about the same distance apart. So now we're going to do the same on this side. These buckles are so cute. If you had some silver foil paper, I'm just using our smoky slate, kind of gives it a pewter look. But if you had some gold or some silver foil, wouldn't that be so pretty on there? A little more glue. This one's definitely newer. Comes out a lot faster. And the same, I'm just gonna put one there. And wrap it around. Put it there. How cute is that? All right, so now we're gonna just put our pocket on there, and then our bag is done. It's really not that hard. It's so this little die cutting set is really just enjoyable to do. So let me show you a little trick. So here's our tab that comes in it, and here's our pocket. You guys, I still have glue on my hand. And I'm gonna get out our Highland Heather again. We're gonna get out our stamp set. And I'm going to use, see where it says Hello Fabulous, but I just want fabulous. I don't, my image is too big to fit Hello Fabulous on there. I just want the word fabulous. So what I'm going to do is I am gonna use a fabulous Post-it note again. I'm gonna get myself a block. Clean off this block that's got our flowers on it. Look at that. Look at that. I'm already breaking my rule. I need to put my flowers on there so I can keep track of them. Then I'm going to just cover up the word hello with my Post-it note. You could also use you could use a marker. I'm not using the marker, so I don't really want to talk about that a whole lot, but I'm inking that up, turning it over. I'm going to take off my Post-it note, and I'm going to put the word fabulous on this smoky slate tag. But when I stamp it, you'll see, look how much longer that image is than our saying. So I'm going to do a little trick. We're going to get out that die again. So what we're going to do is we're going to shorten this. We want it to fit the words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to make sure I line this up where I already cut it. Okay, I'm going to line it up. So let's take this Post-it note. Again, the trick too is the reason why I turn it over and look is I want to make sure that I'm in the grooves. I want to line it up. And I keep moving it. And I don't really need to go through this whole, like I don't need to run it all the way through. I'm going to just put this other plate just partially over the image because I really just need to cut this one side again. I'm just making the tag again just shorter. So I'm just taking some of it off. So there you go. Now my tag is the size I need. And I did get it off just a hair, but it's close enough that you're not going to really notice. I'm going to just trim off this little tag I have here. There we go. All right, I'm going to take my pocket. I'm going to use my dimensionals, my little take your pick tool, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. Just take my fabulous. Now this one I made a little bit smaller than the one I showed you all, but it's okay. I'm gonna add a rhinestone right up here to the top because you gotta have a little bit of bling. And I'm gonna add some adhesive. Oops. And I'm going to attach it to the side that I think looks the cutest. I don't know, I think they both look pretty cute. I think I'm gonna make this one the front. You can also put your pocket on if you want to before you glue your bag together, just so it's flat. All right, you guys, there's our fun purse. I hope you had fun doing a little bit of crafting today, spending a little bit of time getting out our paper and our inks. And I know I had a good time. I hope you did, and we will stamp again soon.